We are shifting our focus now to something very important, the story coming out of Mumbai. The death of Cyrus Mistry, the former chairperson of Tata Sons, in a road accident had put the focus back on the importance of wearing seat belts, not just in the front, but even for passengers who sit in the back seat. What the Mumbai police has done today is make seat belts mandatory for all car passengers, and this will include car passengers who sit in the back as well. This rule will come into effect from November 1st. Front or rear seats not wearing seat belts in four-wheelers will now be punishable. Now, according to the statement that was released by Mumbai Police, it said, and I quote, all motor vehicle drivers and all commuters in vehicles, whoever travels on the roads of Mumbai city, are hereby informed that it will be mandatory for all drivers, all passengers to wear seat belts while traveling from November 1st, unquote. I'm going to try and understand that from Dr. Sudhir Mehta, who is Chairman and MD of Pinnacle Industries. Dr. Mehta, well, some of us have seat belts in the rear, but many don't. Many cars still don't have seat belts in the rear. The Road and Transport Ministry has given a year's time now for all car manufacturers to ensure that there are seat belts in the rear. So how do you place this order? Is it doable? Is it not doable? Because the onus is then on the passenger, and maybe passenger safety, the onus should be on the passenger itself.
So good evening. I think it's a good step forward, but I think let's take a step back. Seatbelts are one aspect of this, but what are we trying to solve? This has three aspects. One is to prevent road accidents. Secondly, when an accident happens, you want to ensure that the occupants have the least amount of injury. And third, if the injury happens, then you want to make sure that they are able to get to the hospital or the nearest place where they need to get treatment. So I think a very holistic view of this needs to be taken. Unfortunately, there was this one very serious accident, and as a result of which many of the rules are now changing, which is a positive. But I think it's very important to go back and take a look at all of these three areas. Certainly, it's a no-brainer that if they mandate the use of seatbelts, this will help to save lives. But this is not going to be the only solution. This is part of the solution. People have been very ingenious at it. If you go to any street corner, you can see those buckles are now being sold where if you put that on the seat belt, then the sensor goes off. So I think for all of the regulations that we bring in, there is always people who will try to break these regulations. Will the compliance improve? The answer is a definite yes. Today, maybe if 10 to 12%, which is what the statistics say, of people, especially in the rear seat, are using seat belts, even if that improves by a factor of 50 or 100%, then certainly it will save lives. So it's an important step, but I think it's not enough.
You think it's not enough? And even for most of us, Dr. Mehta, and I think you have enough friends and relatives, I have enough friends and relatives. In fact, even I'm guilty of not wearing a seatbelt in the rear. When I'm driving, I'll do it. When I'm in the front seat, I'll do it. But I don't do it when I'm in the rear. There's a problem with all of us as well. You know, we can't expect the government and the transport ministry and everyone else to be in charge of our safety and say, "Hamare upar koi onus nahi hai. We will not do anything. We will not even wear that basic seat belt."
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. All of us use different yardsticks. Some of us are saying that, listen, I'm having something to eat in my car, so I'll take off my seatbelt for that 10 minutes. Some people are saying I'll only wear it on highway traffic. I won't wear it on city traffic. Well, the statistics clearly show that anything above 10 to 15 kilometers, a seatbelt helps. And actually, the biggest fact is an airbag will not help you. I repeat, an airbag will not help you unless you're wearing a seatbelt. So you can have all the gizmos of the world, but if you're not using the basic one, it won't help. But very important fact that we should not ignore is that only a certain percentage of people travel by car. I know that's a different topic, but take the example of two-wheelers. People don't wear helmets. This has been mandated at various places over the years. The city of Pune, where I stay, helmets have been mandated. There have been fines, but actually the effectiveness of that has been, unfortunately, very, very poor. Another fact is that for more than 50% of people in our country, their primary mode of transport is actually buses. It's not cars, it's not two-wheelers. What happens to those 50% of people? Today, all buses don't have seatbelts. Many, many people have standing room only. So there is a whole host of issues, and I think the important thing that I would request the government to do is to take a very comprehensive look at this. This is a very serious issue. And we really need to take a 5 to 10-year view and say, okay, what do we do in the short term? What do we do in the medium term? And most importantly, how do we change behavioral habits? For a country of our size, where we don't have traffic policing, would you want more traffic policemen to be waiting on the sides and kind of giving out those challans rather than helping to control traffic, which is anyway in a disastrous situation in our country? So I think when we implement these laws, we also have to have a mechanism which is either electronically driven or by cameras or something where you don't need human intervention, because the moment you introduce human intervention, you are getting the chance of somebody asking for money in the middle, or you are taking them away from certain jobs, because ultimately we only have so many traffic policemen, and how many things are you going to ask them to do?
True. Right, correct. Good point made. Thank you very much, Dr. Mehta. Always good to speak to you. You're putting the story in perspective for us, why it's a welcome step, but why you need to do much, much more to keep passengers safe on the road.